Welcome! Today we are diving headfirst into one of the most hilariously messy scenes in all of literature, the four-way lovers' quarrel from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. So let's set the stage real quick. You've got Hermia and Lysander, who are totally in love. Then there's Demetrius, who's also in love with Hermia. And finally, poor Helena, who is just hopelessly, desperately in love with Demetrius. It's already a complicated love triangle, right? Well, it's about to become a love quadrangle? Square? It's about to get a whole lot messier.
So how in the world does a pretty standard love story turn into an all-out brawl in the middle of a forest? Well, it all kicks off in an enchanted wood, thanks to a mischievous fairy, a very powerful king, and one tiny but absolutely catastrophic mistake. All right, so you have the fairy king, Oberon, and he decides he's going to play matchmaker. He sees poor Helena getting rejected by her crush, Demetrius, and he wants to help. So he gives his fairy servant, the infamous Puck, what seems like a really simple task. And here's where it all goes sideways. Oberon's instructions were crystal clear. Find the Athenian guy who's being a jerk to the girl who loves him. But Puck, maybe he's in a hurry, maybe he's just not paying attention, he just finds the first sleeping Athenian he spots. And who is it? Lysander, the one guy who was already head over heels in love with Hermia. Talk about a classic case of mistaken identity, but, with magical consequences.
The penny finally drops when Oberon and Puck spot Hermia arguing with Demetrius. They realize Puck enchanted the wrong dude. So now, not only is the original target, Demetrius, still totally immune to the spell, but the one solid, happy relationship in this whole story has just been completely sabotaged by magic.
You'd think Oberon might learn his lesson, right? Maybe stop meddling. Nope. He decides to fix this mess by enchanting the correct guy this time, Demetrius. He thinks he can just balance the scales. But as we're about to see, trying to fix magic with more magic, that usually makes things so much worse. On paper, it seems like a solid plan, doesn't it? Puck grabs Helena, brings her over to the sleeping Demetrius, and they're all set. But Oberon totally forgot about one crucial tiny detail. The first enchanted man, Lysander, is already there, and he's passionately and very confusingly chasing after Helena. So when Demetrius wakes up, boom, he also falls instantly, deeply, poetically in love with Helena. All of a sudden, she goes from having 0 guys interested in her to 2. And poor Helena, she's just standing there, completely convinced they're all in on some cruel, elaborate prank to make fun of her. And this, my friends, is where that little snowball of chaos starts an avalanche. Right as these two guys are swearing their undying love to a completely bewildered Helena, guess who shows up? Hermia. She's been looking everywhere for her beloved Lysander, and she walks straight into an absolute firestorm. Hermia's brain just can't compute it. Lysander, the man who adored her just a few hours ago, now despises her and is in love with Helena. So what's her immediate heartbroken conclusion? It has to be betrayal. Her best friend, her sister since childhood, must have snuck in and stolen his love. This is just a perfect storm of misunderstandings. What's so great is that we, the audience, we know it's all just magic. But for them, down there in the dirt, this is devastatingly real. Helena thinks they're all ganging up on her. Hermia sees her best friend as a complete backstabber. And the guys, totally blinded by the potion, are literally ready to kill each other over a woman neither of them actually loved yesterday. It probably doesn't surprise you that the argument gets nasty, real nasty. It devolves and gets deeply personal. Hermia, feeling totally insecure and betrayed, just lashes out, and she targets the most obvious physical difference between them, their height.
So you've got Hermia absolutely furious, accusing Helena of using her height to somehow steal Lysander. And on the other side, Helena is genuinely terrified. She knows that even though Hermia is smaller, she has a legendary temper and has never, ever been one to back down from a fight.
With all these insults flying around, the war of words is about to get physical. Lysander and Demetrius, just juiced up on this magical rivalry, declare they're gonna fight to the death for Helena's love. And with that, they run off into the dark forest to find a spot to duel.
So, watching this absolute disaster unfold from above, Oberon is probably thinking, okay, this has gone way too far. He finally realizes Puck's mistake has spiraled out of control and orders him to get down there and intervene. Right now, before anyone gets seriously hurt. And Puck? Oh, He is loving every second of this. He thinks this is hilarious. So he gets right to work, he blankets the forest in this thick, confusing fog and starts leading the guys on a wild goose chase, perfectly mimicking their voices to taunt them and lead them in circles.
Puck's tricks work like a charm. One by one, completely worn out from all the fighting and crying and running, the four lovers just collapse into sleep, very conveniently, all in the same part of the forest.
Okay, quiet at last. With everyone finally unconscious, Puck now has the perfect chance to apply the remedy and hit the reset button on this whole chaotic night. This final bit of magic is the key to everything. It's basically a magical undo button. It's going to erase Lysander's enchantment, restore his original love for Hermia, and set the stage for a much, much more peaceful morning. And Puck's final little rhyme just ties it all up in a neat bow. Order is about to be restored, the right couples are going to be back together, and this entire night of absolute madness will soon feel like nothing more than a weird, confusing dream. And that's really the question Shakespeare leaves you with, isn't it? If the memory of all that chaos just feels like a dream when you wake up, did any of it really happen? It's just a brilliant, thought-provoking end to a true masterclass in magical mayhem. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.